What's up, guys? Car here. Today I'm at Clearwater, Florida, and I brought my Mini 2, my DJI Mini 2 down here to do a tech review for you guys so you can check out this new Mini 2 that I have. Also be able to look at some of the cool features within this compact drone packed with a lot of power. It's an 8 megapixel camera on this drone, and it also shoots video in 4K. So let's go ahead and take this drone up into the sky so you can see what it can do. Alright, so now I got my drone set up. I had to put a new battery in this guy. Double tap to get it started. It's gonna connect to the remote once it gets set. Once it connects to this remote, what I like to do is I like to go ahead and wait till it tries to ping to all the necessary satellites. So right now we have 19 satellites, and I'm going to take it up into picture mode. So let me do this before we start. All right. So I'm going to record this screen as well. All right, so the first thing I like to do before I take off is I like to go ahead and make sure that my format for my camera is in RAW. So it's in RAW. And then I like to go to my video. Make sure that my video is also at the resolution that I want, and I want to shoot in 4K. And then I go up to the settings and I set my max altitude to the maximum altitude that I want to be to and my maximum distance. And then I set my auto return home distance to 100. That's fine. The next thing I do is go into control. So in control, since I want my phone to stay charged, I go ahead and turn my phone charging on. Once I do that, I go into camera. So there's a few things you can do. You can do a histogram. Your histogram just kind of lets you know what your saturation and everything looks like. So if your image is overexposed, you can use this histogram feature. I also do my overexposure warning to just kind of let me know what areas are overexposed before I go up and start taking pictures. And then I just turn on my grid lines. So as you can see, all my grid lines are on. Usually I just keep on these main grid lines, but you can turn on all your grid lines as well. Once I want the shot that I want, the white balance is pretty good on this particular drone. So once I get the shot that I want, I get my drone into the position that I want it to be in. I'll come back into camera, and then I'll just automatically set that white balance. This lets you know how much memory is left on your phone, and then this lets you know your max video cache capacity. After that, you really don't have to do anything in here. It would be best to keep it on dual band for your transmission frequency, and that's pretty much it. Once you do that, you can take your drone up for the flight. So we'll go ahead and take the drone up.
Take off. The home point has been updated. Please check it on the map.
Alright, so now my drone is in flight, and I'm still recording my screen so you guys can see the screen as well. I'm going to go ahead and look down to find me. Put it in sport mode so that Gimbal can move a little bit faster. So there I am, and as you can see, the ground is a little bit overexposed. I'm going to look up to the camera and hit my chest 3 times just for audio. 1, 2, 3. Now that I've done that, what you want to be wary about and pay attention to while you're flying over oceans where there can be birds and stuff like that, you just want to make sure that you don't run into any of those birds. So since it's overexposed, what I want to do is knock some of that down a little bit. As you can see, it comes down. and that's fine. So now that we are ready for flight, as you can see, it's panning across the sky, it's panning across the ocean. I have a good shot right here actually. So what I want to look for is overexposure, and I don't have any overexposure in this particular picture. I do see a little bit of overexposure, so what I can do is knock down that exposure, then go ahead and snap this first picture, and that should make for a very clean picture to edit so that I can go back into post and make some updates. So now if I pan across the ocean, now I'm seeing the parking lot. So what we're going to do is just go ahead and try to take flight. So like I said, be wary of birds and stuff like that. So now we have taken flight, and the drone is still in my line of sight. So that's a good thing. You want to make sure that your drone is in your line of sight when you're flying your drone. And now I'm looking over the street, and as I look over the street, I can come here, turn that exposure down a little bit so I can get this good shot. As you can see, whenever there's reflections from the sun into the water, you're going to get some overexposure, but you can minimize that as much as possible by just turning down your exposure like so. And then I'm going to take this shot. Once I do that, I'm going to pan around here. Now I got a little bit higher, so I'm going to actually take the drone up a little bit.
Dude
Another
reached.
thing you can do with the gimbal while you're in flight, if you want to kind of look up real quick, what you can do is go to your controls and then allow upward gimbal rotation. So you can turn that on, and then once you turn that on, notice that you can get a little upwards at the sun. So now I can see the sun a little bit, and it gives you a line indication to kind of let you know once you hit your mark and then once you went beyond that. So that's a pretty cool feature to use and utilize. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna go into a quick shot. So what you do is you go into your menus, you go into your quick shots. What you want to do, the one we want to do a circle. So you go ahead and select that quick shot. You're shooting in the desired setting. So you change this to 4K because you want your quick shot to be in 4K. Then you check your exposures. So you see that it's a bit overexposed in the sky. So we're gonna bump it down just a little bit. All right, so we have bumped it down, and now let's go ahead and start our quick shot. Actually, for this quick shot, let's just actually bring this thing back to me. Let me be the actual quick shot. So I'm going to be the one that's getting quick shotted in this video. So let's just go ahead and draw this around me, and let's hit start.
3, 2,
It's going to go into quick
1.
shot. Now it's going into quick shot, and as you can see on the right, you can see that it's counting down or counting up to the percentage that it has to be at in order to finish the quick shot. I'm able to see my drone still. It's moving pretty fast. I like it. And it is at 96% right now. It finished. So that's the first quick shot that you can do with the drone. So if I come here, and I'm gonna just come right in front of myself. And what I want to do now is get a quick shot that's kind of right in front of me. So I'm just going to bring my drone to this spot right here. So what I want to do now is go into the rocket quick shot. And since it's kind of right in front of me, again, want to click outside of it. Make sure that you have it at the right resolution. and everything, and then you can go ahead and start it. So that's me. Oh, another thing you can do too is when you're setting this up is when you draw your object around your subject, you change the altitude to the altitude that you wanted to go to. I wanted to go to 80 meters. So you go ahead and start
3,
it. It's going to
2,
count down.
1.
Then you just wave bye-bye. So now it's doing like a rocket situation. Now I'm curious if it's going to go beyond the 60-meter altitude that is kind of being set at for whatever reason. But either way, it's fine. If it doesn't,
Maximum flight
so
altitude
maximum
reached.
flight altitude, depending on where you are, it doesn't go beyond that band. So that's that for that one. So let's bring it back down. It's right above me a little bit. So now the next quick shot that we're going to go into is the droney quick shot. So this particular quick shot, we can get a little closer. I can bring it in a little bit. The wind is kind of heavy out here, but that's fine. But I'm going to bring it in just a little bit. And now you see me. And what I'm going to do with this particular one is the maximum distance. We know we can't go beyond 60. So we're just going to set it at 60. And we're just going to go ahead and make sure that our resolution is at the resolution that we want it to be at. And then we can go ahead and start it.
3, 2, 1.
So it starts. Now you can see it jumping all the way out to 100%, and that's perfect. So it says returning, which is awesome, because I feel like that's what a quick shot should do once it's finished, is go ahead and return. And if I missed that in the last quick shot, then that's on me. But it's awesome that once it finishes that quick shot, it actually returns to the location that it started at, which is actually great. It's a little bit lower, but still, it's fine. So, all right, so the last quick shot we have on here is this one right here. It is the aircraft ascends while flying in a spiral. So we want to make sure that when we get this quick shot right here, we're not in jeopardy of crashing our drone in any way, shape, or form. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead and back this thing up a little bit. And now that I've backed it up, now I can find me as the object or subject. And what I can do now is go ahead and set my max radius. And again, I'm going to set my max radius to 60. And then let's start it up.
3, 2, 1.
So now we are doing a spiral quick shot with the drone. So right now it's just going into this spiral, and I'm able to see it as it flies above me. So it's going in the spiral. Realize that we're only at 34%, so I'm able to get a lot of things done with the drone before it gets to the point where it needs to return to home. So it has completely finished the spiral, which is great. Now it's going to be returning, and there's nothing that I really have to do, just wait for it to good shots in, you know what I'm saying? But returning home. Alright, so it has officially returned home. The last thing I want to show you guys that this drone can do is there's a sphere view that the drone can do that I feel like is amazing, and I love to do this with the drone. But what you got to do is you go ahead and set it to the format that you want it in. I want it in JPEG RAW. You want to make sure that you're not overly exposed. Got a little bit of overexposure, so we're going to knock that down a little bit. So we've knocked it down quite a bit. We're going to take the drone up just a little bit more. And we want to get at a good spot. So what we can do now is we can start our sphere, and this takes a little bit, but you hit start, it starts taking all these pictures. And what's it gonna do is it's gonna give you a global view of the location that you're currently at. And it just uses the gimbal to kind of just go around, take all the pictures. The drone turns and does like a full 360. And once it gets done, it'll be a pretty cool sphere, and I'll show you guys what that looks like in post. So right now it's at 65%, so it is almost finished. And I'm looking at my drone right now, and I can see that it's like just taking all these cool shots to get this awesome sphere situation going. And shout out to the people that car broke down. They came over here while I was recording, and I told them to hit up the park people to get their car jumped off, and they jumped off and they good to go. So that's awesome. And you can see them driving behind me. Alright. So once that's done, what happens is it creates this awesome sphere. And another thing you can do is 180 pictures as well as wide angle pictures. Right now, we'll do that in another video, but we're gonna go ahead and return to home since we're just about at 20%. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in normal mode. I try to return to home in a slow speed so I'm not just going too fast. Like I said, these guys on motorcycles pulled up over here, which is pretty cool. I wonder if they're interested in getting some shots in. And like they parked their bikes and kind of walked off, but it's letting me know that it's a low battery, so return to home promptly. So with that being said, we're gonna let this thing return to home, and I'm gonna go ahead and hit home.
Go home.
So now it's gonna come home, and we're gonna see how good the go home feature is. It started off on the bed of my truck, and I want to see if it ends up landing on the bed of my truck. Right now it's coming home.
Maximum flight altitude reached.
Hit 100 meters, basically. Now it's gonna return home, and I'm gonna go ahead and move the gimbal down so we can see what's going on. And I'm just kind of keeping my eye on it to make sure that when it gets home, it lands in the right place. So it is returning home. It says our faces destabilize buildings can block.
Landing.
It's just giving us some prompts to kind of let us know what's going on. It said it's officially landing, so it's right above my head right now, and it looks like the wind might be knocking it off a little bit, but like I said, it started on the bed of my truck. It might be right on. Okay, it's looking pretty good so far. It's looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good, guys. I can control it a little bit if I need to. Oh, it's landing. I'm controlling it a little bit. I can go ahead and look at me while it's landing. It wants me to confirm the return to home. So you did a good job, drone. So I'm gonna go ahead and land it.
Critically low battery. Critically low battery.
And there it is. So the drone has officially landed. We are all set. Hope you guys really enjoyed that tutorial. We didn't get any video, but that's fine. I'm gonna try to get some video shots up, just show you guys what that looks like shooting in 4K. We're gonna switch this battery out, and let's go ahead and do that now. All right, so switching this battery out right now so we can get some video shots. So the battery has officially been switched out. Good thing about this is the controller battery lasts pretty long. All right, so battery has been officially switched out. It's gonna go ahead and do its thing. It's gonna connect. Aircraft not connected. It's gonna go ahead and connect. I still have all 4 lights on my controller battery, which is amazing. The fact that I can basically go through all 3 batteries, which is a 27 minute cycle. So I'm just gonna do video the whole entire time, just to show you guys what it looks like. And remember, to make sure that you pay attention to your overexposure. So you want to have your necessary settings on. So you go into camera, like I said, you turn on your histogram, you turn on your overexposure warnings, and then you also set your white balances at the shots that you really want to take. So we're going to turn on the video and get some 4K shots. Let you guys know that when you see those overexposures in your drone, it's an indication to go ahead and bump this down. So now you lose that overexposure, and now you're kind of getting a better and a cleaner shot. So we're just going to put it at 0 for now. As we take off, we're going to set this thing to take off. And remember, we're already recording.
The home point has been updated. Please check it on the map.
Any kind of birds and stuff like that. So what I want to do is I want to go to this location over here. And actually, it's not recorded right now. All right, so now you can see here we have a lot of overexposure. So we're gonna bump this down to 0.07. We got some overexposure on the rooftops, but that's fine as well. So we're gonna dump it down to about right there. So right now we can go ahead and start recording, and we don't really have to do anything in flight. We can just kind of watch the cars and stuff go by, so you can see what kind of shots you're really getting with your 4K imaging. Then I can put it down into cine mode if I wanted to just go ahead and start doing anything. And what I can basically do now is I can start moving just a little bit like this, and then start just making my way up this road. And you just kind of using your grid lines to keep the cars in the center of your frame. You're just moving it just like so. And as you can see, kind of high, so what I want to do is I want to drop it down a little bit. So I'm dropping it down as I'm flying forward. Remember, you want to pay attention to your histogram over there to your left to make sure that it's not underexposed as well. And as you can see, the further to the left lets you know if it's underexposed, further to the right lets you know if it's overexposed. And it's better to be underexposed than overexposed, in my opinion. So we have cars going, yep. So we're still good. So what I want to do is just drop it down a little bit lower. And now I want to get everything in the center of my frame. So like I said, you use your grid lines to keep everything in the center. So now I'm able to come down this street and give it a kind of cinematic flavor. So like I said, you want to kind of keep everything centered. So now it looks like a movie kind of, and you can just kind of take it up like this. Move that gimbal up, make it feel like it's like flying up faster, but you're still going in that same speed. And then you can just kind of take it off and just go off to the side.
Maximum flight altitude reached.
Maximum flight altitude, but you won't be able to see that in your actual video. But it's just kind of giving you an indication while you're shooting. And then that makes for some pretty cool cinematics. So now that we've had that shot, that's a shot that I want to go ahead and actually save. So I'm gonna save that, so we're gonna watch that in post. And what I want to get is actually right here, perfect. So as you can see, there's sun coming off the ground. I want to make sure that it's nothing up under me, so perfect. So you just really want to pay attention to your indicators, to seeing that your height. I'm at just about 30. So what I want to do is I want to get a shot like this. So just flying into this reflector or reflection off of the water. So I want to go ahead and record this. I want to put it back into cine mode, and while I get this footage, I want to just kind of go into it. So I want to drop that down. And as you can see, some of the things off in the distance is a bit underexposed, which is fine because the main thing that I want in this shot is just the water anyway. So now I'm getting that, and I'm just gonna fly over it. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep everything in your center. Then what I want to do is bring that gimbal up and bring the drone up at the same time. So it looks like I'm flying faster, but I'm really not. Alright guys, so that's it for my tech review. If you guys enjoyed this video and you want to see more videos like this, go ahead and leave some comments down in the comments. Make sure you smash a thumbs up, and also make sure you subscribe. This is Carl Huff. Peace.